By misadventure, or perhaps as a window to adventure, you've stumbled across an episode on the Casting Shadows podcast. Casting Shadows is, I guess, the umbrella for all things RPG that I post online. Who are you, you might ask? My name is Anthony Boyd, and I post on RPG topics under the nommed internet of Runeslinger. You can find me on YouTube. My channel is called Runeslinger. And for the printed word, you can find me at castingshadowsblog.com. Or for audio content like this, well, stay right here. What you're about to listen to has been imported from YouTube, and so there will be references to what you can see or, watch this or watch for something. Well, you won't be able to do that in this audio format, but I hope that the experience of listening to this improvised actual play will be fun nonetheless. This was a return to a setting of my own devising, a high pulp adventure version of Venus with very over-the-top characters and situations. In the first season of the podcast, in episode 6 or 1.6, you can hear the original foray into Venus with two fantastic players, two good friends of mine. They also have YouTube channels. You can find Ivan at IvanMike1968, and you can find Eloy at the Umbermancer channel. Well, it's been a while since then, and this time Ivan and Eloy came back, and we are also joined by Jose, and the three of us, with time on our hands and a desire for fun in our hearts, leapt out into space, hoping that the Skyrider's wings would hold us aloft and carry us into action and adventure. And I hope, if you listen all the way through, that you'll agree that they did. I'm putting this here rather than immediately continuing on with the next installment of the Alien RPG series, mostly to highlight the feel. These episodes were conducted similarly, meaning that there are moments of play with a large degree of improvisation, surrounded by a framework of understanding the system, understanding the setting, understanding the players, and what the goal of play is for the particular session. These things are different in that this setting is drawn entirely from me. And so the first time we played, in episode 1.6 of the podcast, Skyriders and the Mist Pirates of Venus, a Venus Chronicles serial, everything needed to be explained. And of course, there's going to be some transmission loss. But as a group, we are used to playing with each other. We know, in a sense, what to expect, and we know, in a sense, what we like. And so there were social tools in place to enable us, even though we've leapt out into space together, to find ourselves in that free fall and form some sort of recognizable shape as we plummet toward the ground, to use a parachuting metaphor. In this return to Venus, we have one player who hadn't been involved in the first one, but everybody else had. And so now we have multiple vectors for that information to circulate. Now we're leaping into it with even less preparation than we had the first time, but we have this establishment of having played it before. So the level of improvisation for me is that as we are playing, I'm trying to figure out what it is that is going to be the main launching situation. That's all I need. What is the opening situation. And so, just as a joke, I start things off with a terrible cliche to see how these characters that we generate and play at the beginning of the session, well, to see how they manifest. And once I can get a glimmer of who the players are bringing to our virtual table this time, then I'll know. And I did. So the the stats for what they face and the challenges, these all are drawn on my large degree of familiarity with the system that we're using, the Ubiquity role-playing system, which you may have heard of by its trade names rather than its system name. So you may have heard of Hollow Earth Expedition, or you may have heard of Leagues of Adventure, or Desolation, or the latest version of Space 1889. You may have heard of Quantum Black, whichever. All of these are run by Ubiquity. Ubiquity is fast, and it's a game that we all really appreciate and have come to know very well. So with these things supporting us, knowing who the players are, what we all like, knowing the system and what it can do and what it's for, and wanting to have a great time of high adventure, this is what we got. Skyriders and the Silent Outpost. What you're about to watch was a whole lot of fun. And it was an entirely improvised, off-the-cuff replacement session. We were getting ready to meet for our regularly scheduled Fantasy Flight Games Star Wars when we got a message that one of the members of our group was sick. So rather than play without him, we decided to do something else. And we talked about doing Mithras, but the recent return to Ubiquity to play All for One, and the fact that we had gathered together to play Star Wars, we were in the mood for some pulp heroics. But what? So using Ubiquity, we have so many exciting options. But in the end, we opted to return to the toxically shrouded in mist Venus of the one-off that we did a year or two ago with Ivan and Aloy, the Sky Riders and the Mist Pirates, a Venus serial. So adding Aloy and Ivan and Jose to this setting is sure to be magic, I thought. And, well, you can judge for yourself. Anyway, we had a great time. So we sat down first with character creation. That went by pretty quickly, and then launched into play. So Ivan created Dougal McAllister, Aloy created Max Flynn, and Jose created Tan Cantos. And they were each from a different regiment of the Sky Riders of Venus. Now, while they were creating their characters, I was thinking of what can I put before them as a challenge for the Sky Riders? What would be fun and lighthearted and suitable for this kind of serialization, this pulpy, heroic serialization. And it wasn't really until the very first scene, you'll know it, because Dougal McAllister meets his old upperclassman, a self-important individual by the name of Flamberge, that was the point where I knew exactly what I wanted to confront them with. And drawing on lots of experience with Ubiquity, I was able to dream up the situation that you see them face. But the experience was, I guess you can say, an experiment on two levels. One, we were using teams for the first time together for play of this type, and recording it and using its different features. And Teams itself, Microsoft Teams, has come a long way since we used it last. So from time to time, you'll see the view shift from the typical basic level screen share that I like to do to something a little different. And this is really quite useful in terms of, at least from my point of view, increasing the connection you can feel with other players. You can see everybody on more equal footing. And if people have their cameras adjusted, you can see an awful lot of the body language that play versus conference call can often leave you missing. And part of that feeling of exhaustion, part of the feeling of disconnection, part of the feeling that playing online is that little bit harder than playing around the table is in some way alleviated by this all-together feature available on Microsoft Teams. So from time to time, I'll share that view, and let me know in the comments what you think about not how it looks in terms of its exciting and stirring graphical presentation, but as a tool for gaming online. Anyway, without any more blather about play, let's leap into play in Venus. Okay. So, Ivan and Aloy remember, but this is new for Jose. The Skyriders get their name from the fact that one of their primary pieces of equipment is nothing more than what looks like a thin metal tube, roughly their height.
Ah.
Which has small handles which fold out at the top, and small handles or pedals which fold out at the bottom. And when gripped, a bird-like form or a winged form will manifest around them. It will generate out of the air around them, keyed to their own self-image or self-perception. So for Ivan's previous character, it showed off traits of his clan, right? Kind of a mantis kind of shape.
So this is like the coolest pogo stick ever.
Exactly. Right. And the Skyriders literally throw themselves out into open air, right? And grabbing onto this pole, and then it manifests around them, and off they go at hypersonic speeds. Right. So
that is awesome.
Yeah. So one of the primary duties of the Skyriders is to deal with rebel, outlaw, anarchist organizations like the Mist Pirates in their patchwork dirigibles, and they go around robbing enclaves of people to serve as slaves or breeding stock or what have you. They abduct people and press them into service as privateers and whatnot. And the entire civilization is based in the upper atmosphere of Venus, where there is breathable air. Below these hovering enclaves, a very Gothic architecture of soaring spires and stonework, are the clouds of Venus, which are toxic and acidic. So inside your wing, you are protected. You have breathable air, and you will not be harmed by the toxic acidic clouds. But if you are exposed, if your flesh is exposed to it, it will very quickly eat away at you inside and out. It's a very deadly environment. And so these mist pirates can often get away by losing their pursuers in the mists of Venus.
That doesn't sound very pleasant. So Are we since it turns out that a couple of months ago I read the first 3 or 4 books of John Carter? Are we any particular like purple or yellow or green?
No.
Just normal people.
Just
Well,
normal people who happen to inhabit Venus.
I just have to ask. This is a big deal for Burroughs.
Did you guys name your characters yet?
No.
No, that's the most difficult part of the whole process. The first name is Max. I got that, I think, because everything has to be extreme and dynamic. So,
right. Ivan, have you been named?
Yes. Well, I didn't choose a really science fiction type name, but Dougal McAllister, because he's an aristocrat.
Ooh.
Also known as Dougal the Black. Please don't kill me. For no particular reason.
The first trap chest, you're biting it.
That's why you'll be opening all the doors, son. Yes, an aristocrat with redemption on his mind. With a tarnished reputation.
Yes.
Max.
Our military officer is called Tan, T-A-N, Cantos.
Tan Cantos.
Yes, and I guess he has to look like, what's his face, like, with that name, like James Purefoy, I guess. His name is Cantos.
Right.
That's something I'm in the mind of the Prince and the Pauper. I'm not sure why. Tan Cantos.
Inspired by Cantos Khan, right? Carter's friend.
Right.
So I got to go with the last name. It's either Flynn or Fairbanks. Right? Those are the classic action heroes. I'm going to go with Fairbanks.
Max Fairbanks?
Fairbanks. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and this is very important. Cantos is with a K.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
All right. So give me your names again. It's Tan. Cantos.
That's the color. Cantos. Yeah. Cantos.
See. And Ivan is who again?
Dougal McAllister.
Dougal McAllister. You know what? Let's go with Max Flynn because it's shorter and easier. Fairbanks is a bit of a tongue twister for me, at least. So, Flynn.
Max Flynn.
Max Flynn. There we go. It's Errol's cousin.
All
right.
Clan Tasmania.
So the Sky Riders as an organization have, a very practical uniform of glossy knee-high boots, jodhpurs, and brilliant coats, right? Short waistcoat style military with epaulets and double fastenings across the front, and they have different divisions of different colors, right? And our initial opening moment, right, is on an aerial, rocky enclave is the word that we use, right? So from the bottom down, it's almost like looking at a mountain in reverse, narrowing down to a point with no visible means of support for this floating, immense stony structure. And the top is sheared off absolutely flat, and on top of it is built almost like a cathedral of old earth with flying buttresses and high roofs and immense ceilings, right? Is this barracks and training ground and parade ground for trainee sky riders, right? It's a walled enclave, right? Which has an energy shield, a dome, which can close over the soaring spires of the school itself, of the academy itself. But now, this moment is open to the sky. And just outside the walls, on the very edge of this rocky plateau, there are small personal businesses like tailor shops and elite small bistro style restaurants, and of course, drinking establishments for off duty officers. The cadets are denied the privilege of entrance until their 5th year, right? Their last year at the academy. And for the past few days, it has been a reunion with officers from different units called back for recruitment purposes and for morale purposes to entertain the cadets. This is why the 3 of you are here. Okay. And so we'll give respect to age as the Venusians do. And so we will hear a visual description of the striking character, the colorful uniform, the poise, the posture, the demeanor of Ivan's character, Douglas, as he enters into the Blasted Rafters, a notorious drinking establishment.
So yeah, Douglas. That's a common mistake.
Oh,
Just struts in, chest out, ridiculously far out. Boots polished to the point where you could just practically see his face in them, even though he's 6'1", but still you can see his face in them. Epaulets just completely. If you could polish epaulets, he's done it somehow. Every little bit and piece, and just the purple, kind of brightest purple pinstriping down the sides of his pants and everything is just gleams as if it's almost like an LED, that sort of thing. And every surface on him shines, even if it's possible for cloth to shine, he's made it shine in some way. And it's an air of self-confidence and the idea that every eye should turn on him. If it's not, there's something wrong. But this is how he just struts into the place.
All right. And giving deference to age. Who's next, Ivan?
Oh, let's see. Who's the next oldest? I forget. Okay, please. Max.
Yes, so Max is a Venusian Lancer, red coat, golden buttons and white pants, black boots, with his regimental hat. I don't know what one of those tall things.
Right.
In his arm, blonde hair, lightning sword at his side. He's not the tallest of them, but he is quite fit and always looking for adventure. Would they have mustaches? And I think
not?
So, right? Like a mustache and a small goatee. Looking dapper as well. And yes, and cocky and overconfident. That's what you remember of him from school. So.
Right.
So it's my turn?
It is.
Yes.
All right, so Kantos Khan steps in, and he doesn't look like a friendly guy as he looks around, standing at attention as unnecessarily, hand on his saber hilt. He's maybe just a shade over 6 feet and athletic, right now, not rather than muscle bound or anything like that. And his uniform is like perfectly pressed, but he's not wearing, a dress uniform. He's got, the black boots, tan pants, to go with his name, and a navy jacket with on the he's got the epaulets and the symbol of his clan, which is like a screaming eagle's head on the left
Right.
arm. And he doesn't have any medals on it, but he has all the ribbons of all his qualifications and trainings. And he's got a medium length hair and like a almost Elmore like dark mustache. Oh Jesus! Steely eyes, and of course a scar beneath his left eye running into the mustache.
Right. Accompanied by his faithful canine.
Right.
Yes.
10-legged dog.
The ten-legged dog, yeah.
The dogs do bark, the riders come to town. Yes, there you go.
All right.
So,
Now
so question. Just, a question. In a pinch, do we use our vehicles like a quarterstaff?
You can.
All right. All right. Go on.
They are variable in length. They shrink down to just
Okay.
this, and they attach to the belt behind the lightning sword.
So you can
so
even
it-
use it like a baton if you want. Oh, that's
Yes.
fantastic. I love it.
All right. So the bar, the blasted rafters, is full, and all around it's memorabilia of the different units. From different sporting events and from tactical trials and one division versus another division in different training cups, and there's graduation photos of different classes, and so your own classes are up there on the wall somewhere, and there are uniforms and there are unit flags all around, and it has a high ceiling in the center. It has a vaulted ceiling with, of course, rafters, and the rafters are they have actually been blasted. There's signs of all sorts of combat and burn damage all the way around the room. And the noise level is intense as all of these officers are seeing their old academy buddies for the first time in months or years, and are telling war stories and whatnot at the top of their voices as drink is liberally being shared around. And we bring you three friends together there. And, of course, rivalry immediately springs up.
Of course.
Of course. Because, as I draw on the most ridiculous name I can think of, right? A graduate who left the academy 1 year ahead of you. He was always, your upperclassman, and his name is Flamberge. And he has the widest shoulders imaginable and bulging biceps that always seem to be 1 inch bigger in circumference than anyone else's somehow magically, and this wavy chestnut hair and gleaming teeth, right? He has his royal blue uniform coat over black trousers and black boots, and he's leaning up against the bar, and he spots the three of you. And his rank is 1 step higher than yours.
Of course.
Of course. Perfect.
He strides over, bringing a pitcher, which he slams it down, and he opens with, "You're welcome."
This mighty kind of you to pay for drinks.
I'm
Flamberge.
sorry, but that's not our brand. I was actually going to get something else, but next time. Come on, you rascals, I'll buy you a drink. We don't need to drink this swill. They have much finer ale at the bar.
I see your manners haven't improved.
I see you're still blowing up those biceps in some kind of contraption. They're bigger than your head now. And that's tough.
Oh my goodness. Well, he is taken aback by your brazen assault on his dignity.
Well, I'm overconfident. I'm sure that we'll be able to handle any kind of kerfuffle.
Kerfuffle.
Well, to your starting 3 style, you have added 1 to Dougal. He says, you know what? I was just going to mention this in passing, but I've been promoted to be the regional commander of all divisions. Which is why I brought this fine beverage. But you have reminded me immediately and intensely of your true character, and so instead of celebrating with you as I had intended, I have a mission for you.
Yeah. Really? I'm trying not to choke on my spit. Oh.
And let's make this mission interesting. I've just heard this morning that a remote outpost of the Lancers, and he turns to look at Max, has gone silent. No one has heard from them for 24 hours, which, of course, as you know, being a Lancer is unusual, as it's very hard to keep them quiet ever. So I'd like the 3 of you gentlemen to travel there, ready for anything, determine what has happened, if something has happened, fix it, if possible, and come back and report. Dismissed.
Yes, sir.
He slides mission orders across the table, and you can feel your staves, your Skyrider staves, vibrating as they receive the coordinates automatically by proximity with the order pad.
Oh,
Well, gentlemen,
absolutely.
it seems that those drinks will have to wait.
I said, but we should tip.
Ready?
And I throw a couple coins right into the pitcher,
Oh.
making sure that the splash of those coins, at least some of the ale, gets on the crisp uniform of my new commanding officer.
So you 3 are all lieutenants.
Okay.
And so he dismisses you now one at a time. You know, Lieutenant, says looking at Max. Lieutenant, he says looking at Tan. Private, he says looking at Dougal. You may have another style point.
Well,
Lieutenant, sir. I click my heels and turn away.
we're off to a rocky start, but I'm sure the morning can only improve from here.
As we march out, I mutter, at least one of us had fun.
Come on, you need to learn to loosen up there, Cantos. Come on, get that scowl off your face. Alrighty.
Right.
So are we to assume
Maybe.
this is in fact Max's clan? The Flynn's group, or no?
His division, not his outpost,
right.
but his division, the Venusian Lancers, with their crimson attire and their reputation of bravery and audacity.
Nice.
So maybe
Right,
20
so-
meters ahead of the 3 is the edge of this floating enclave. There's no fence, there's no lip or railing, there's no stonework, nothing. It's just the edge.
It's a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I look at the rod for the coordinates, right, and get a general sense of direction. And well, gentlemen, time's wasting, and I run to the edge of the platform and jump with my rod in hand as I activate it.
Right on. And what does your wing look like as it materializes around you?
Well, it bears the regiment colors, right? So it's mostly red and gold with some white sections. And it's, I don't know, it's kind of like a jet ski, but sort of elongated, and it's open. Is it open or is it closed? Because I think there's
They have a
toxic
clear
atmosphere. It's convertible.
canopy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a clear
Maybe it's a
canopy.
convertible. Yeah.
Nice rack top
And
there. Huh?
they
Yeah.
the
So
the Skyriders are flying. The pole is running down the length of their body with them on top, and they're hanging on to it. And it's not much wider than the human form, right? But you have the senses of the wing as you are flying, right? So not exactly a 360-degree sphere, but fairly close. You will feel the impacts of incoming fire as if you yourself are being shot, and you control it with thought more than with muscle, right? So it's a representation of your unit, and it's a representation of your personality as it manifests around you. And its wingspan is more than twice your own span of your own arms, right? But in a kind of raptor-ish shape. There's lots of variation on what that shape is from individual rider to individual rider. So you can just imagine as someone hurls themselves into space, and then just in a sheen of energy over their flesh and over their uniform, and then expanding out and materializing into a solid winged craft, and then rocketing off at unbelievable speeds. Dougal, Private Dougal.
Private Dougal, yeah. So Lieutenant Dougal jumps off, his staff in hand, engages the button, the thing pounces, pops out, and the craft that materializes around him is functional. I mean, you can see that it can definitely fly. I mean, well, it's got everything necessary, just like every other person's craft, and it's kind of it mimics his uniform and from his regiment, and a little bit of his personality with the black and the little purple pinstriping. But the extra, it's almost as if a peacock has just taken flight. There's just little
tail. There's a tail.
The tail, tail, just like the plumes, from the tail, streamers from the wings. It's kind of like, I forget what you call that, but that tail that like a pterodactyl would have, that long tail with a little thing at the end. It's got all these ridiculous flourishes that literally have nothing to do with aerodynamics, and and then probably half the size of the craft is just all this extra crap.
Plumage.
Yeah, plumage. That's the word I was struggling for. Man.
Okay. And Tan?
Tan kind of like, goes up to the edge, activates it so the handles and the footrest pop out, calmly gets on it, and then swoops after them. And as he drops, the craft takes the shape of like a golden eagle with a metallic cast to it.
Yeah. All right.
And it even screams once as it forms. It goes,
ah! That's great.
And he looks kind of like serious and bored, but the eagle goes, his inner, born to be wild thing.
Awesome.
So I guess in the spirit of things, mine would be hawk-like, and then we complete the whole set of bird-like.
Peacock. Most
can I share
Raptors.
my screen?
You can, yeah. You can do that.
So I think this is what Ivan is describing for the tail. Do you see the bird?
I see your character sheet.
Yeah, I see your character sheet.
Oh, jeez. Dagnabbit, hang on.
You can also share photos as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to share a screen. Is the screen share off now?
Nope, it's still
But you have
showing
to
your character sheet.
Still
stop
on.
what you have to stop what you're sharing first. I think is part of what you have to do.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
That's weird because I clicked this window.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, right
I'm
on.
not seeing it.
Yeah.
Oh, there we
It's
go.
it's
See,
very
that's
close to
the
that. That's
yeah.
ridiculous. Yeah.
That's
That's
perfect.
the streaming tale from.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Yeah. That's
Right.
that's pretty much what it's like. Yeah.
So the wings, right? They're armed with lightning guns, just like the ones on your hips, and the damage rating is the same. But they aren't limited in shots like your personal firearm is. They also, if and when you need them to, can extend talons.
Oh.
Awesome.
Right, for capturing other aerial craft or dealing with situations as they arrive where you might need such a deployment. And they're of course controlled by the legs of the Skyrider. So we're heading roughly northward, away from the bulk of the aerial enclaves of your people. Right. So the zone of control for the Skyriders and the civilization which spawned them is roughly around the equator of Venus. But you're heading toward the northern pole, away from civilization, toward the outposts, the frontier, the place where a McAllister would never be sent because their political clout would protect them from being in such a harmful climate. And of course, the Venusian Lancers, with their bravado, maintain outposts here for those members who wish to distinguish themselves with many combat victories. But the anarchists and rebels are thick and deadly and dangerous. But more so than that is the native fauna of Venus. And if you are very unlucky, you may encounter some of the larger species, where it's rumored that even today, even though it's been decades of constant Skyrider presence in these outposts, the dragons of Venus still reside.
Ah, dragons and Venus. Just a point of information, and so Eloy will laugh. Cantos does have, with a navigation spec, an average survival of 6 for route finding. Military orienteering. He's not great at overall survival, but navigation, he knows his maps.
Oh my God.
Excellent.
Well, I would expect nothing less.
Quelle surprise! Yes.
Now, this is a bad time to have found myself to not have taken the gunnery skill. But anyhow.
True.
Oh well.
I didn't either. That's the next couple of points we earn then. Yeah.
Right. One of the advantages of being a Skyrider, because I predict problems along these lines, gunnery would be for mounted defenses on the floating enclaves. But as Skyriders, you're going to pilot using the skywriting skill I gave you from being Skyriders, and you're going to fire using firearms, and you're going to use the talons using melee. So it's all wired into who you are as a being.
That's good. Good anticipating.
So the one weakness or one downside of the wings is that they will cause fatigue. They will cause non-lethal damage in extended use. And the assignment you've been given, you're going to have to travel far enough to count as extended use.
Okay.
And so as we arrive in the area, navigating around to arrive at the outpost that you're looking for, we will need to make body checks.
Ooh.
Okay. The difficulty for your check is 2. So it's double your body. It's a resistance roll against fatigue, as the very energy that sustains the wing is drawn from you, the rider.
It's double body.
Are you upset at all of Europe, Ivan, or are you telling me that you have two successes?
I have 2 successes.
I rolled a 3.
3.
I'm an English longbowman. Yeah.
So you rolled a 3. So you have 1 success, Jose, and Aloy, you got 2 successes.
No,
Or you
3
rolled
as well.
4
So
over. Oh.
no, I rolled 3 total. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you have succeeded. So you feel tired, but in that I've just exercised since. Now, how would you like to approach the Enclave, which isn't registering on your sensors? There's no sign of communication, right? There's no warning. There are no scouts who've identified and are asking for identification. It's just silent.
I think we should. Do we have a radio, or do we fly close enough to talk? Is there a comm system?
Yes, there's a comm system.
Gentlemen, I suggest that we land a click away and go by land. This is not good.
What land?
There is no land.
But wait,
Oh,
yeah,
there's no land. It's floating.
The
So
thing is
approach from
floating,
below.
right? And
Okay, so approach from below.
is it
then.
in sight?
Let's approach from below.
So before it's in sight, I've asked you how you want to approach it. And so we've got one recommendation to approach it from below.
Sure. And we spread out a bit so that we cover more visibility and not bunched up together just in case there's some nefariousness afoot.
And would you like to approach through the clouds, relying on sensors alone?
Of course, why not?
Yeah, we should probably take advantage of any cover, right? If we're not getting any, suspecting any possible foul play, right? If we got cloud cover to hide behind, we can approach unobserved. That's probably a good idea.
Lads want to take the stealthy approach? Let's take the stealthy approach. Come on now, we learned how to do this at the academy. We're not cadets.
Now, Max, our resident Venusian Lancer, has been to this outpost before, although he's not stationed here. So this will give you a slight edge in navigation, which you can confer upon the others if you choose to so share.
Yeah, of course. I will provide them with whatever information I know.
So the outpost itself is again another inverted floating mountaintop, right, with a very defensible, hardened military base at its top. It has a large perimeter so the wall is inside a large perimeter, so that there's room for this base to expand if necessary, if needed. So there's a lot of room for landing and staging troops or what have you around the edges of it. And as you remember, it's surrounded by mountains, right? Incredibly high Venusian mountains. So it's almost in a bowl of these different mountain peaks, which are almost a kilometer away in the 4 cardinal directions. Right? So a bowl filled with these toxic clouds is beneath it, and then nothing above, of course, but the hazy skies of Venus, which prevent any sight of the legendary stars. But coming at it through the clouds risks contact with these mountain surfaces. There's a narrow path, almost like a trench to navigate, no matter which direction you come at it from. And so this will be your first obstacle, a skywriting obstacle. And we can do it in formation, or you can do it independently. If you do it in formation, there would be one lead and assistance from the others. If you do it independently, it would be just you.
Yeah, that sounds good. So maybe I'll take the lead because I've been here before, right? And I'll be relaying data as I go back, on the canyons, and watch the starboard flank and stuff like that. Watch for rock outcroppings and such. Right.
Now the wings have a very quick speed, but they can go faster. So the difficulty at the default speed is 3. And the faster you go, you'll increase the difficulty by 1. You decide how fast you go, and you also decide how much higher than 3 the difficulty is. Aloy
I don't think we need...
So Tan and Dougal will each be contributing 2 dice. Your knowledge gives you 2 dice.
Ooh. Okay, so that increases. Yeah, 2 for my knowledge, 2 for Tan, and 2 for Dougal. Is there an advantage to speed that we know? We don't really need to hurry.
Well, it's all of what you imagine is waiting for you.
Let's increase speed up to 4 difficulty then. So let's move quickly, but not recklessly, is what I'm thinking. We can make good time, and maybe if we move fast and avoid, the winds and such. So
in formation,
difficulty of 4.
Information.
What?
What is your formation? Your first.
Oh,
are you all in a line?
Single file,
Are you in a delta shape?
Yeah.
No, not in a line. Are you kidding me? We're doing Darth Vader with the 2 TIE fighters behind him. We're doing that formation.
Oh, okay.
Standard attack formation.
Delta. Yeah.
Just like in the academy, We're not doing a single file crap.
One last question before the roll then. With Flynn as the point of your arrow, right? Are you elevated behind in a superior wing position, or at declension? Are you in an inferior wingman position, right?
Up. You guys should probably be up.
Elevated, yeah.
Down.
Yeah, elevated.
Yeah, elevated.
All right.
Only because the word superior.
So, so here we go. I'm rolling 12 dice. So it should be able to get 4 successes.
Obviously, when Flynn gets the word that we're accelerating, unbidden, my vehicle goes ah.
So I have scored 5 successes on 12 dice.
Still good.
All right.
Which is one more than we needed. So
it's 1 more than you needed. So it's less than a complete success. Okay. So who shall we pick on? Max, back at the academy, who could you count on to always get you in trouble? Go.
From these 2 yahoos?
From those 2 guys.
Of course, it's always Dougal, right?
It's always Dougal.
Of course it is.
Okay.
So, as you come in, right, there's one moment where, as the lead wing, you just barely crest a new defensive emplacement of a wall with gunnery turrets. Right? It wasn't there when you were here last. You just miss it. Now, of course, your wingmen are higher than you, so it should be fine for them. Except
What?
one of them has drifted a little out of formation. Guess who?
That's Dougal, of course.
It's Dougal. Dougal, I need you to make a quick evasion.
Okay, quick evasion. All right, cool. What am I using for evasion? Am I using flat dexterity, or am I doing?
You're using your dex plus your skywriting.
Oh, okay. Oh, so I'm using skywriting. Oh, okay. Forget it then.
Yeah.
Let's see. What did I put into skywriting here? 7. Oh, wait. Yeah, 7. So 7 dice. Okay, cool. Wicked. Yeah, quick evasion.
Difficulty is still 3. Oh, sorry, it's 4 because of the speed.
Okay. So I'm using a style point because that's a good idea.
Oh, too late.
And it's a good thing now. A good thing I did because I roll 5.
All right, on. Okay.
And the style got me one of those successes. That's good.
So you would have hit this large gunnery emplacement. How did you miss it?
It's coming like right at me, like boom, right towards my face, and I just kind of flip the thing over sideways entirely, and it's just that little flappy bit of the tail at the end, just kind of kisses it, like whacks it, as it goes by. It actually hits it.
Awesome.
All right. Very cool. As you go by, you can see the hips and legs of the gunner still in the gunnery chair. But the rest of him is curiously absent.
I think I know why the place is silent, fellas. Seems this fellow back there lost his head. And his torso, as a matter of fact.
So nobody's
Something is
shooting
afoot.
at us, I assume, right? Nobody's shooting right now?
Nobody's shooting. Yeah.
Got at least
All
one
right.
dead fellow back there. There could be more. Imagine perhaps the entire base. Sorry, old chum, but something's definitely wrong.
As you're rocketing through the clouds, you cannot see the outpost, but its signal, not its beacon signal, which you would expect, but just the sensor signal of a large aerial object, right, is impinging on your senses. You can feel it inside your mind, almost like echolocation, that you're getting near it. You can feel the ground beneath you. You can feel the sloping walls of the canyon to either side. And you can feel more of these defensive wall emplacements passing beneath you below. But everything is silent. There's no feeling of life. There's no registering of any of the unit signals that should be coming to you. And soon you will be approaching the very bottom of the outposts. How would you like to?
This can't be. This can't be good. If there's a dead man in there, nobody has gotten him. Must be some sort of wildlife attack. Might be. Hell, might even be a Venusian dragon or something. Be on alert. I'm getting readings ahead of, and is the readings I'm getting is the expected location of the thing, right? Or is this something else that I'm picking up?
Nope, okay. It's the right feel of the outpost.
Okay, so the beacons seem to be off or non-functioning, but we're here. We're at the place, so careful on the ascent, and I'll sort of.
And you're traveling at supersonic speed, with the visibility maybe of 2 meters. Right? You're going on feel, just clouds whipping by the canopy, open or closed. All you can see is clouds. Just barely see the front of the wing, and you can't see the wingtips far out to the side as you're ripping along, leaving a sonic boom in your wake. And you peel up to to go around the base and up to the top.
Yeah.
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 All right. Are we doing a survey?
Yeah, that's what I said. Let's
All right.
do a flyover before we get any closer.
All right.
Let's
Let's
take
do a
a-
perception check to represent your visual acuity and your use of the wings sensors. 3 for Dougal.
3 for
1
me.
and 3. Okay. So in the lead and having to concern yourself with your 2 wingmen, Max, again, what you're noticing is what's absent. This is an outpost, so unlike most emplacements, it actually has gunnery pods and turrets on its base. All of these are hanging silent and inactive. Some of them show signs of being shattered, but not from return fire. But this is all you managed to glimpse before you crest over the top of the outpost. The other 2, notice that, of course, and also that there is a slow but steady descent of the outpost, which shouldn't happen, right? The technology is old and stable and traditional. These things are left where the founders put them, but this one is slowly sinking down at a rate which means it would impact with the mountain slope in a few days.
Wow, the grav repulsors are offline, it looks like.
Yeah, it's going down. It's not going to last much longer in the air. We better make our explorations quick.
As you scream over the top, the defensive shield, as you would expect from the silence, is down. The turrets and the behind the crenellations of the huge wall, they are shattered and show signs of having been broken. But most troubling is in the very center of the courtyard, inside the walls, next to the main outpost building and barracks, are 4 immense 10-meter tall, leathery, oozing eggs. The acidic coating eating away at the very stone of the outpost. And around their base, packed for warmth, are the shattered bodies of Venusian lancers.
Oh, jeez.
No.
Oh, no. Definitely Venusian dragons. I knew it.
I'm trying to keep my lunch down as we crest over there. I'm like, catch that. Oh. Well then. Responsibility.
I think we have an answer.
We've got an answer, but we need to fix it. We were told to fix it, and clearly we can't let this thing go down.
We have to check for survivors as well. It's our duty.
Stop!
Yes, of course. But of course. But instantly, I'm thinking to myself, my goodness, like I can't fail. I cannot go back and tell Flamberge that we let this thing actually crash, and the considerable financial investment of the Lancers and of the wealthy families of Venus has been allowed to crash into the earth, and that somehow Dougal the Black let this happen. Oh no, we're going to save this. We're going to save this outpost and avenge these men, but we're going to make sure this considerable investment is protected and made right.
Right. There's no sign.
What is the policy?
The mother. What is the policy?
What is the regarding dragons? Right, they're to be eliminated on site or
exterminate on site. They are unreasonable. They will not negotiate.
This is like Shadowrun. Never make a deal with a dragon.
It's true.
Yeah.
Although in Shadowrun, the dragons can at least talk with you.
Right.
Now these dragons.
Yeah, but
these dragons, in addition to oozing acid and having the capacity to flight, have 2 other disturbing abilities. They seem to exist slightly out of step with time,
Oh.
sometimes having an unusual stasis-based resistance, and sometimes attacking before they attack. And they have a psychic scream which shatters minds more than flesh.
Well, sound like
Other than
very
that, just
pleasant
giant
company.
teeth and claws.
Sounds like very pleasant company.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sounds like
Uh,
Dougal's ex-wife.
well,
Well, if he's as good with his wife as he is with superior officers, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, that explains a
All
lot.
right.
Yeah.
All right.
So
well,
basically, but what we're seeing right now is just the eggs, right? There's no big
Just the
giant.
eggs.
All right. So I think that having said that, we have to check for survivors. Cantos does his standard, like, deactivating his machine like 10 feet above the ground and flipping down acrobatically to land
Nice.
while looking very bored.
all right.
Yeah, that must be a really good, it just dives down and last moment flares up and whoop, collapses into the rod and
Nice.
Yeah. And Dougal, on the other hand, he kind of glides in. There's no acrobatic leap. There's no that thing. It's just kind of, it fades away, and he's striding. So like just get it to the point where he strides out of his craft kind of like evaporates. Strides. All right, let's.
No longer protected by the wings,
Mm.
the smell assaults you.
Oh.
The, the smell of the acid eating away at the stone. And there, you can hear the sizzling bubble of it at work. And
we got to get rid of it.
Other than that sizzle, there is silence. No hum of machinery, which suggests, as you mentioned, that the gravity generators must be on their emergency setting. They're no longer, thrumming with power. They are silent, and as a result, the outpost is ever so slowly sinking down to Venus, where it will, be destroyed. But this also brings to mind that the eggs must be ready to hatch before that happens.
All right, so couple of questions. Number one, do we carry like extra power packs for the pistol?
Oh,
Because
sure.
I'm wondering if it's just more efficient to shoot the eggs or slash them open. I'm not, I'm thinking that we'd know, but the player doesn't know.
yeah. But we search for survivors first, right? If we injure the eggs, the mother will surely be summoned.
Okay.
So
We said-
Cantos,
Good
Cantos
point.
and 10 meters.
10-meter eggs.
Cantos and McAllister check the barracks itself, see if anyone else is left alive inside. I'll go look through the bodies and search for survivors, and I approach the pile of bodies and start, calling out.
So I tell, listen, Dougal, you might want to, if you want, you might want to check on the engine room, and I'll take care of looking for survivors. The grab room or whatever it's called.
The grav room. Let's go with that. Yeah.
Capital idea. Right in there.
So what I do is I approach the bodies and start calling out, Lancers, anyone alive here? Is anyone in need of help?
No one answers Max except the wind.
Right.
As you come around the corner of the eggs, looking for survivors, there's one pennant, stuck at an angle in the courtyard stones, and it's just limply fluttering in the breeze, spattered with blood and ichor of the lancers. In the barracks, in the grav room, everything is cold and dead. There are bodies of engineers and other aristocrats who traditionally care for these ancient machines scattered where they fell, with their their eyes melted, and obviously they suffered great mental anguish. This is the result of the psychic scream of the dragon. But in the barracks, Tan comes face to face with what can only be described as the lone survivor, except it's not clear if the being has really survived. It's the commandant of this outpost, a man not much older than yourself, with a rank only slightly higher, right? Lieutenant commander. Much better uniform. And he's slumped in the corner on a bench, his discharged lightning sword in his hand. He's just holding the hilt. Right? And he looks exhausted. You can only tell he's alive by the rise and fall of his chest. But his eyes are blazing blue, no sign of pupil or iris. His mouth is moving slackly, and a deep bass, distorted sound of many voices is pouring out of his mouth like molasses across the floor.
Wow. So can I make sense of anything that he's saying, or?
Give it a try. Give me some perception or empathy if you have it.
Yeah, of course I have it too. -2 0, so nothing. It's a -2, right?
Yeah, if you don't have it. Yeah.
So I can roll a perception. That's about
Yes,
it.
you can roll a perception. I'll tell you something different than what you would have gleaned with empathy.
All right, I got 3.
Okay. The sounds are words, but they are shifting in speed, right? Sometimes slow, sometimes fast, and it's uneven and unpredictable. But basically, you can hear that he's saying, "Wait for me, I'm coming."
All right, so oh wow. Okay, so I said, Commander, snap out of it.
There's no response from the command.
And he doesn't move. He's just lying there saying that.
Right.
He
He's
doesn't- yeah,
weakly
he doesn't-
reaching out very, very slowly, like underwater, to grab your wrist, for emphasis of his message, not in a combative way.
And does he look to be wounded, other than his eyes are bright blue and he's all screwed in the head?
Just that. Exhausted, maybe.
All right. So unless he resists, I take his sword away and I get him up in a fireman's carry.
Okay.
And bring him up to the others.
And he never once stops with this randomized approach to someone else's speech.
Ooh.
So the first to see, of course, is Max.
And I have grabbed the lonely pennant of the the local regiment insignia and have taken it down, as I probably won't have time to do anything else. For anybody else, I'll take that as a memento, right, of the whole of the fallen here, is what I wanted. So I tuck it inside my uniform, and I look as they emerge, and I can't find any survivors. Who is this?
This is the outpost commander, but there's something wrong with him.
Is he
I set him
physically
down.
hurt?
No wounds, but look at his eyes and what he's saying. It's not him speaking. Says somebody's coming.
Somebody's coming.
The hair on the
dragon.
back
Yeah.
of your necks is beginning to stand up. And your own thoughts are beginning to echo in your own heads.
Oh no.
Is this affecting me in the grav room?
It is affecting you in the grav room.
In the
It's
grav
almost it's almost like if you move your hand to reach out for something, you can see its after image,
room.
as if you were moving very, very fast or maybe very, very slow.
Yeah. And I notice this as I'm pushing the body of one of the guys that's slumped over as a poor bastard. I'm pushing him off the desk where he fell, or the station where
Right.
he fell, trying to figure out what do I need to do to turn this damn thing back on, or how to fix this. And not having gone to engineer school, having spent all my time learning fisticuffs, and I'm really just I'm overconfident. So I'm thinking I got to be able to figure this stuff out. I mean, these guys. I mean, I'm noticing noticing the crests and insignias of various families, and this poor bastard. I shipped him off, and I noticed the little after effect. Oh dear. I say, fellas, are you noticing anything strange?
It seems to be an echo in my mind. I've heard these dragons are psychic. It might be approaching. How's that grav engine coming?
Oh, I've got it under control. We're gonna have this thing up and running pretty soon.
Good. I think we should take to the sky and find this dragon, take it down.
That's a good idea. I'm gonna maybe. Yeah, you fellas, I'll be right there.
So,
did you want to attempt to deal with the grav generator?
Absolutely. I'm really just gonna push it.
There's got to be an ignition button someplace, right?
Right. Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
Have you invested any of your skill points in science of any type?
Of course not.
0.
Why would he have?
Right,
exactly. Okay, so this will just be intelligence -2 for you.
So you can do one of those. You can do one of those Hail Mary things. Oh, there's the Hail Mary thing that you can do, right?
The chance dice.
Yeah.
Chance.
Is it a -2 after you double the dice or before you double the dice?
I'm glad there was seltzer water, not coffee, because I literally just had tears in my head.
It's because there is a skill that is appropriate. It's just intelligence minus.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, what I do have here is 4 style dice.
All right then.
So I'm really just looking at what I need to do. I'm kind of looking at what these fellows might have been doing, what these buttons might be for. Okay, that's clearly.
Your difficulty is 2.
Okay. Really putting all my effort. I can't remember. I read this book on. All right, at least I read an adventure book about it. where it described the guy fixing the grab repulsor and something, as a kid as a child. Oh, that's 3 successes.
All right.
Awesome.
Oh, my style is shut.
So as Max is saying, we should take to the sky and hunt the dragon, you can feel beneath your feet the sudden thrum of the reactivation of the grav generators.
And
as it reactivates, energy begins to dance across the leathery surface of the eggs in a way that doesn't look to be healthy for them, as they begin to steam and smoke, and the acid begins to burn off.
So the grav stuff, they don't like it. That's
why they turned it off. Yeah.
I got it.
Cantos, we
damn,
should get
Max.
this man to.
Max, he actually did it.
All of the defensive emplacements around begin to power up slowly, like in a circuit. You know, you see lights coming on, and so the gunnery emplacement over here and over there, and the shield generator and these sorts of things begin to come back online, if not destroyed. You know, there are some obviously that have been devastated. But
Cantos, we should get this man inside. He'll be safer there if battle should ensue out here in the courtyard. Quickly, let's move him.
All right. I'll put him in a closet or something.
Okay.
No, just inside, because not in
Right.
the open. Because I'm thinking,
Right.
at least inside, right? The fortifications. Not particularly. I didn't. What would be the military component? Artillery. I wasn't good at the artillery thing, so I can't handle these lightning cannons. I still say our best bet is to meet this threat in the air.
We're lancers. That's what we do.
That's what we do.
So there is a more silent silence for a moment. As Tan is coming back after dropping off the commandant inside the main fortification. And coming up from below over the wall is the dragon, and its rear talons shatter the top of the stone wall. It is a 6-armed creature.
Ooh.
2 powerful rear legs, and forward from one shoulder joint come 2 smaller but wiry, clawed, human-like arms, defined with wrist and talons and long claws, and wings, of course. Long tail, which you cannot see but exists. A long serpentine neck, which has ribbed, fleshy extensions. As it roars out, both audibly and psychically, it extends this webbing of bright, crimson-colored flesh. It's just immense, blotting out the brightness of the sky behind it, filling the courtyard with shadow. And it's time for initiative.
Ooh, nice.
Shall I roll as I've been walking back to the...
Yeah. Because you can feel the whole installation shake as it hits.
Right, I'm just shouting. I just turned this thing back on. What are you guys doing to it?
2, 3,
2.
All right. So it's going first, and then our 3 and then our 2 2s are going simultaneously. All right. So the first thing it does, right, as this scream echoes through the courtyard, echoing off the courtyard, what I need from you is a form of defense roll. You're going to use your body as normal, but instead of your dex being your active, it will be your intelligence, which is your active.
Ooh, that's bad.
No, not intelligence.
Willpower.
Oh, that's better.
It's just about the same for me.
They don't need to be. We don't need to be smart. We have, okay,
Oh, do we know the target number here, or?
4.
You're just rolling defense, so it's an opposed roll.
Oh, okay. So we can't put any style in it. So
Sure you can. Sure you can put style in it.
It's too late now.
So it's the same as if you were in combat. You're rolling your defense against its attack, and the difference will be the damage that you take. So.
Right. So just in case, I'll drop 1 style there. So that is 3 successes for me.
Okay, and Ivan, you rolled 1, and Jose?
4.
4. Nice. So Jose takes 1 point of lethal damage.
Oh dear.
Not Jose. Jose's character. Tan.
Tan takes
1 point.
I was going to say, ow, ow, ow.
Dougal takes 4. And Max takes 2.
Nice.
And call me in the morning.
And yes, exactly. It's like your brain is boiling in your head. Your own thoughts feel like acid etching runnels in your mind.
Ouch.
And then it's time for Dougal to act.
All right. So I'm grabbing my hat. I'm running out of the last passageway onto the deck, holding my head, and the question is, am I able to get into the ship and attack her at the same time, or is that 2 separate actions, which takes 2 separate rounds?
Ah, I see. The getting in the ship is a move action.
Right.
Because you are sky riders.
Right. Yeah. So the question is really, can I do that, and can I actually attack her, with the ship at that point, or am I just better off running up to her and attacking her? Mano a Dragano. without the benefit of the ship.
That's up to you, man. You can do both. You can do either. Yep.
I can do either.
You can't do both. You can do either.
You can't do both. That's true.
You can attack with the ship, or you can attack with your laser sword, or with your, not laser, your lightning sword, or with your lightning gun.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're gonna do with a sword.
All right.
And I say, get out of my head, you bitch! And I just draw the lightning sword, and I flurry. In a flurry of attacks, I go to her, slash at her with abandon. Being very pissed off at this point, very put out.
Right, and you've taken flurry twice, I believe.
I have.
How does flurry work? It just gives you.
It's instead of -4 to each attack, then you take -2. But if you take it twice, or if you use style, then you take 0.
Nice.
And I have put invested in melee, so I have where am I here with melee? I invested, and then I improved it. So yeah, or no, I took a specialization in the sword itself, the lightning sword. So that's 8. That's 11 dice altogether. So the first blow is 6. Yeah, and the second blow is 7.
Okay. These are pretty nasty attacks, which would fell any mist pirate.
Right.
And you do cut through her venomous, and I use that word intentionally, hide.
Yeah.
But the thin, oozing trickle of blood across one of her forearms is not heartening in terms of the devastation, but you have hurt her, and you have her attention, and her 4 eyes lock. They independently track targets, and all 4 of them are now locked on your tiny form beneath her front legs as she steps down into the courtyard from the wall. Next, simultaneous actions from Max and Tan.
Confident that my partners will help me.
Help you.
Confident.
Yeah.
Confident.
Tan, take the right flank. I'll go left. And I jump into my, drawing the rod, I jump into my Sky Rider, hoping to attack her from the left flank.
Okay.
So, I think I'll try and engage the lightning gun cannons from the Sky Rider.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Okay. So I will treat them as regular firearms, which is 6.
Yep.
And 5 is 11 dice.
12. 11. That's
11 because I took a specialization in pistol, but this is not pistols.
Okay.
11 dice. Okay, here we go. Because the situation is dire for a friend, I will throw in a style point.
What?
It's dire for you. It's looking at you, man. I don't know. And I have 6, 7, 8 successes on 12
Whoa.
dice.
Nasty.
Really good. Yeah.
All right. Before I forget, our overconfident Dougal has earned a style for going into sword fighting range with a giant
Dragon.
creature.
Excellent.
And for his concern for a friend, of course, we will give a style point back to Max.
Yes.
And you're firing down the left flank.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see, puncture marks as the lightning arcs and coruscates across the surface, right? So it's not just one impact. It's blackening sections of skin all down the left flank as you rip past at high speed. And you can smell the burnt flesh, and the whole ship, the whole wing becomes warm around you as the energies discharge. And Tan.
All right. So Tan, sort of like with this usual serious expression, just starts sprinting towards the dragon as he goes drawing out the pogo stick, and suddenly, the eagle screams as it swoops completely recklessly in a total attack towards the dragon. And as it turns to look at the guy shooting at it, I claw it with at the neck with my talons.
Nice.
So,
Melee.
so that he's not gonna get my overconfident friend. So that's melee.
And I didn't tell you the damage on the talons. They are 3L.
Excellent. So that's melee. That's 3 plus 6 equals 9. Plus 2 for total attack. That's 11.
And if you like, you can sacrifice one non-lethal and do a lightning discharge through the talons, adding 2 extra dice.
Okay, so I'm going to do that and add a style point.
Nice.
So that's 14 dice.
So you have drained yourself of some of your life force to do this.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. What the hell? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 successes.
Nice.
Nice.
Of course, so is that. Of
Dice.
course, that's 9 success. Yeah, okay.
All right. Now, do you want to land and claw in, or are you raking as you go past?
Raking as I go past.
All right.
Right.
So I'm kind of imagining that as you're going in from the right, and as Max is going in from the left, you kind of cross over
Yeah.
each other. Lightning ripping down
Behind
one
the thing,
side and
yeah.
claws ripping up the other. And this lone, tiny little man in the shadow of the dragon standing
Yeah, right.
with literally lightning in his hand, right?
Yeah. This is like a Frank Frazetta painting, like, you know. It really should be. Should be the cover of some book with just the little guy. Two words crossing. Yeah.
Excellent.
Last known photograph of the galaxy.
Speaking of which,
Black Gal.
it's time for the mother dragon to respond. Right? And she has so many options open to her. She could ooze acid over you. She could claw you. She could bite you. What makes the most sense? What is the most unlikely you are to survive? Let's go for the bite attack.
That's what I was
All right.
thinking too.
Yes.
All right. You are dealing with 6 as an incoming attack.
Okay, well that's not good, but okay. But I'm gonna roll my. I'm gonna use that style point for being overconfident and still overconfidently defend. So my defense is normally 5 dice, and that will be 6 dice. Okay, good. That's good. Oh no, wait. My defense is body. Okay, yeah, no, my defense.
Yeah, and deck.
All right, just double checking. Shake them up extra good. Well, damn. Well, that's 2, so I've taken 4. So we push me at
4.
-3.
Yes. -3. It's
All right.
a horrifying wound. She doesn't catch you and swallow, although her cavernous mouth is certainly big enough to have done so. That would be a dead character situation.
Right.
But one of her fangs rips across your abdomen and ribs and arm, and the flesh there is sizzling with the acidic saliva. And this is greater than your strength, I believe, this amount of damage.
Oh, it is. It is greater than my strength. Greater than my. Oh wait. Yes, greater than my strength and greater than my body. Either way, whatever you want to do with me, I'm gotta roll the dice.
You are staggering backwards as a result, and needing to do a resilience check, double your body, to remain focused because of the pain.
Okay, and I'm doing this with the penalty involved as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that is 1 die. I can see from the smile that that I probably need at least 2 successes.
Yeah.
On this 1 die. All right.
Chance dice.
Chance dice, damn straight.
Uh-oh.
I use 10 of them.
You're gonna use 10 chance dice?
Absolutely, because I know math.
That'll be-
I've done the math, and that's it, you have to. The more of them you take, the more likely you are to succeed.
I'm so happy that
11
he
dice
did
looking
this math.
for a 7.
That's right.
I'm so happy he did this math and explained it to me, because I still don't understand how it works. So, but hey.
Yeah. All right, so I'm whipping out, taking out these other dice.
10 successes, 7 successes and 10 dice. Is that correct?
11 dice. 11 dice.
That's it.
11
Okay.
dice.
To stay conscious. Oh, let's see. It's really close. It's 5.
That's really close.
It was really close. Hey, it was. I had a better chance than rolling 1 die. So yeah, but no.
Right. So as Max and Tan cross behind the dragon, you can see out your canopies the limp form of Dougal being hurled back across the courtyard, right? The blazing lightning bolt of his blade snuffing out as his consciousness is lost. And the ball is in your court, gentlemen.
Dougal is hurt.
Wait. So as my
I'll
last millisecond of action, before I lose consciousness, I
Flip the dragon
engage.
off.
I know I engage. I've engaged the form of my ship, but it just materializes around me with this like crumpled tail, like just all the all the plumage is like it's wilted. It's just tragically dead. Till
Nice.
but it looks like a dog is like has shook a peacock or a quail around and just like plumped it down the ground.
The tail uncoils out like.
Because I'm not. If I'm going to die, I'm going to die and look really good doing it. It's going to look like a beautiful corpse.
If you're gonna die with your wing on.
Die with you. Probably looks even worse, really. But his vanity doesn't prevent him from.
I'll
That is
try
worth
to
a style
do it.
point all by itself.
I'll try to draw its attention. So I'm gonna shoot at the dragon's head, and sort of alter the flight path so that I can, because I cross from behind, so I circle around and I go down its back, but shooting at its neck and head, right, strafing the neck and head and flying in front of him so that he'll look at me, come after me because I'm that good.
Called shot.
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Called shots are at -4, correct?
This one will be. You're more likely to hit its back than you are to hit its head because of its whipping motion.
Okay.
But if you are successful, you'll get the narrative benefit of having done so, which you will decide. Okay.
Okay.
And so, what are you hoping to do by shooting it in the head?
Draw its attention.
Just
so that
that's
it
all you
doesn't
want is its attention?
Forget about
Okay.
Dougal.
Sounds
right?
good to me. Yep. Go for it.
Dougal alone. And I will drop one style because I'm that confident that this amazing plan will work.
Yeah.
And survey says, fortune favors the brave with 5 successes.
Oh. Okay. 5 successes after the 4, or 1 success after the. Oh, you took the dice away. Right. Okay. You got
I
5
took
successes.
the dice away. Right.
Yep,
So yeah.
you did it right. Good. Okay. So it was, of course, moving in to crush the wing around the crumpled form of Dougal, but it instead is searching the sky looking for where the pain is coming from, and locks on the crimson and white glinting shape of your wing as you zip by in front of it. So you can feel in the back of your mind, you can feel its maw rising up behind you, to engulf your craft. When Tan.
All right, Tan. He can't let this thing get his friend, so my wing goes straight up and then loops around, screaming, and it just charges at the thing, firing lightning from its beak. Total attack, and using a style point. So that's 7 plus 5, 12, 14, 15 dice.
Yeah.
I'm going all out. This is the best I can do, fellas. The phone's trembling in my hand as I use the app. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 again.
9.
But out of 15.
Awesome.
All right. So the lightning by far seems to be terribly effective against the flesh of the creature, but the creature is so huge.
Vast.
It's vast, right? But the lightning is ripping through the ribbed, flaring, webbed protrusion around its neck, right? Its territorial display, and is shearing it off one side, and acid is raining down the front onto the courtyard, and its head is rising still up, trying to attack the Venusian Lancer, the red and white of the. And now initiative goes to her, and she has her chance to attack you in the air. And again,
Ouch.
as with Dougal, you have to avoid 6 defensively.
So I have to get 6 successes to. Is that what you
Yeah.
said?
Yeah, her attack is 6.
Oh.
Yeah, he's just taking the average, man. That's great. Yeah. Good stuff.
It's
I'm taking
fine.
the average.
It's
Yes.
fine.
Mhm.
Yes. Okay. Let's blow that last style point in because the craft. I flew in behind her, so I'm approaching the main installation, right? So I sort of at the last minute just sort of shoot straight up in order to avoid her coming from behind. She's gonna
This
crash
is very true.
into the
So I'm going to
building.
give you 2 more.
This is all in my
more
mind.
dice.
Yeah.
You're going to have
Awesome.
2 more dice as well.
Awesome. So here we go.
It's not a good sound. Oh.
3.
Or did I roll the correct number of dice? I should have been.
Should have been your
7.
defense plus 2.
So 6 plus 2 is 8. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I rolled. Okay, so it's 4 successes, which is not bad.
Not bad. But
Yeah.
that's
Not good
2
enough.
lethal damage.
Ouch.
And the force of her attack, right, is not higher than your strength. I think it's equal, maybe, to your strength.
My strength is 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that the craft shudders, and you've seen stories, and you've heard tales of craft being knocked out of the sky by the force of the dragons, but you've just managed to time it just right. So as she bites, you don't lose your momentum and direction of travel, and are able to remain airborne as you go through the installation, the pillars and minarets of the station. All right.
That's good.
And it's you guys.
Is she
But
flying
we'll
right
give
now?
Dougal a chance to recover and wake up.
Wake up, you bastard! Wake up! Well,
Go,
okay.
Dougal. Go.
You know. So he's.
But I
he's
think we're still in
rolling
the
his-
same situation we were before, with 1 die versus a difficulty of 2.
But he's got a style point. He's got a
That's
style
true.
point for so he's got a 25% chance of waking up. Come on, buddy. Come on.
Never quote media odds.
Holy mackerel! He wakes up.
There.
He just managed to get his eyes on it. Not dead. Of course I'm not dead. I'm awake. I can do something, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you have your choice of move, defend, or attack.
Or
move, defend, or attack. And he's.
And you're
attacking my
inside your
friend.
wing.
I'm inside my wing. So I'm just going to discharge the electric guns at her. Like on my back. All right. Excellent. So that is they are they 6s or 5s? What are they?
5.
What are they're 5s? Okay, so it's same. So yeah, so it's 10. So 7 dice. Okay, cool. I'm taking a -3 penalty, and hopefully, yeah. And this. Take that from the grave. Nice 70. All right, that's 3, unfortunately.
Right.
Get her
And
attention, but don't hurt her.
she is blasted by more lightning. Right. So she's got one set of 2 arms up on the outpost, and she's got the other set of 2 arms down on the courtyard next to the eggs, and her body's nestled next to the eggs, and the eggs are still being fried by the discharge from the grav generator. And her head is curling around, and she's got Tan and the prone Dougal in her sights. And Max is behind the outpost. And it's time for Max.
So, the ascent was shaky, right? Because she like sort of batted me a little bit, but I did manage to accomplish it. And so, what I'll do is I'll stall the ship and sort of like turn it around so the cannons are facing her. And as the ship begins to drop, I'll open fire with the lightning cannons again. But this time,
take a style point for that.
Yes, and I'm gonna put it. Is that my last style point? Yeah, because the last one I used was my last style point, so I got it back.
Okay.
Do I blow it right away or save it for another save? Now, blow it right away, and see if we can get some more damage here. 6 dice and 6 more. Here we go. Two, 4, 6.
Hey, who do we
8,
appreciate?
and 9 successes on 12 dice.
Yes.
Cool. Yes. All right. So again, she's bleeding down the left flank. She's bleeding from the talon attack from earlier. Her frill or fringe or whatever it is shredded on one side. And as this lightning attack comes in, she staggers and stumbles, right? And then Tan.
All right. So obviously another fly around. The wing screams, and again I'm gonna sink my talons into her face. Using my another style point.
So you're calling the shot?
No.
Oh.
That's just descriptive.
Face.
Okay.
Figuratively. Yeah.
But what I am doing is this time is sinking and rending. It's not flying by. He's gonna just grab her and
stay there.
sink his talons. Yeah. Nice. So that's 11, 12. That's
that app is hilarious.
Yeah, 11, 12, 13, and a style point. Okay. My phone is gonna explode from this app, I tell you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. Okay. What's my number? 9.
Lucky 9.
3 for 3.
All right.
The next one's like 2.
So Tan's wing is there high on the neck, right? Bone is splintering, flesh is being rent. I can imagine the eagle is screaming out its victory call, and it's her turn. She's bleeding from multiple wounds, right? And she's frustrated and protecting her eggs, and of course she screams psychically, and everyone feels the shockwave of the mental assault. So as before, defend with your willpower and body.
Four on 5 dice, which is pretty amazing. Nice.
I got a 3.
One lethal.
All right. Well, remember, I'm rolling 2 dice.
So
that's right.
This brings me to 0.
Good luck.
Ooh. 1. Take 4 lethal.
All right. Excellent.
And I rolled a 3, so I take 2 lethal.
Correct.
Ouch.
Okay. But I had the foresight to take Die Hard. So
Die Hard. No penalties for you.
So I'm at 0. It does not fall unconscious and automatically stabilizes.
Right.
So my last thought before I perish is I have redemption. I've saved Shit.
The Outpost.
As my
Save the
pour out of my ears, as I am now at -7, clearly dead.
Oh, please.
And how does the wing de-res?
It just crumples. The feathers fall off, right?
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
That'd be more dramatic than that.
Oh no! It's like all of a sudden like this big giant flash, like this whitish yellow, glow, straight out of Hollywood. Like really chintzy Hollywood. But
Right, the anime explosion.
yeah.
All right. One of your comrades has fallen. Now it's Max. At 0. Move. Attack or defend.
I'm holding it. Take your shot. I'm grabbing it in place.
Yeah, why not? Let's,
At least for visual
like,
purposes.
Trying to fight through the psychic haze. Let's shoot it again. That's 11 dice. Let's see. 6, 3, and 2 is 5. There we go. I have no penalties because I'm still at 0. And this is 1, 2, 4, 5 successes. 5 successes on 11 dice.
Nice.
All right. So again, she shudders under the impact of the blazing lightning.
Jeez. Thing won't die.
And your wing is crackling and losing substance in places, but still holding together.
Yeah, it's like yeah. Some of the plates of the wings, flicker in and out as it starts to lose coherence.
All right.
10.
So we're gonna go all out. So, since I had taken 4 points of damage, I'm gonna go ahead and self-inflict a 5th point of damage. I'm gonna use my last style point because it's my duty to keep these bastages alive, and I saw this guy fall. So,
Okay.
and I'm just gonna keep raking it and giving it lightning from my claws.
All right.
Awesome.
So that's yes. Onset 2 from the lightning, 2 from total attack, and 1 from my last style point, and 16 dice. Survey says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Come on,
8.
9.
8.
Oh.
No, I got 8.
Ah!
On more dice, I got less successes. But I actually got 50%, which is what you get most of the time.
That's the average, yeah. So you got the average.
I got 8.
Yeah.
And it just occurs to me, I didn't remind anybody that when you exceed 10 dice, you can take the average on 10 and roll the rest. But
You could, but Jose would not have got 9 all those times. That's
true.
You gamble.
You
You
would not
gamble.
Yeah,
Right.
you gamble.
You gamble. You get higher.
Plus, when else are you going to get a chance to roll 15 dice to, do something, or 12 dice?
16.
No.
Mm.
I need a handful of dice here, or 2.
All right. And by 1, this is enough to take her below 0.
Oh,
Oh.
oh my God.
Oh.
Nice.
And she stumbles and staggers, right? Her eyes lose focus for a moment.
Collapses on top of the eggs.
And I need to make a check to retain consciousness, which she does. Right. But now she has to decide to attack or defend. Right. And so we are going with attack.
Of course.
And she claws at the Skyrider embedded in her neck, of course.
Of course.
So you need to defend against 6.
6 against 6. And I got nothing in the tank, so it's gonna be just.
You did go total attack now, didn't you?
But you get
Yeah,
a
but
style point for your adherence to your duty.
so I'll use that, and I have Savvy Fighter. It's not Total Defense. It's called Savvy Fighter,
Yeah.
which means that I can do total attack and defend.
Yes.
Oh, well, how about that?
Okay, we got 4. No, yeah, 4. Which means I take 2 points of damage, so I'm at -1.
That's right.
Uh-oh.
Well, 2
You
of the
need
points
to.
are non-lethal, right? 2 of the points are non-lethal.
Yeah, you're
You're
still
at
not dead.
-1.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, you die at what, -5?
-5,
I
unless you
believe
have.
you die at -5 unless you have Die Hard, then you die at -7.
Yeah.
But I think you make the roll to stay conscious.
That's right. You make a resilience check, which is double your body, with a penalty of your current negatives. So at -1. So double your body, -1.
And what's my target?
2.
No more than 2. And I rolled a 3
All
on
right.
5 dice.
Yes.
You're still conscious despite the pain, but there is so much pain that you're
Right.
now forced to move or attack or defend.
Right, so I'm like I'm gouging into her, and she's clawing me as I'm holding onto her with my claws, right? So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Max.
So I am diverting all power to the lightning guns. So the wing is sort of hovering right in place. It sort of goes up and down.
Would you like to put more power by giving yourself a non-lethal wound into the lightning guns?
No, because if I do that, then I get a penalty to the attack. So it doesn't. I'm at 0 right now. So
Yeah.
I'm just hovering in there. And this is a total of 2, 4, 5 successes on 11 dice. That's about average.
All right. And she is not able to defend anymore. She's only, applying body
Passive, yeah.
to this as passive defense. And you can see again this massive damage ripping up across the shoulder and base of the neck.
Now,
Hey.
just point of information, because I went under 0 because of non-lethal. I actually didn't have to roll to keep conscious. I'm technically exhausted, but just
Right.
Oh,
Exactly.
that's the
Exhausted.
difference.
But how about her? She took damage now. Is she roll for unconsciousness again? Or
She's still
how does
able
this
to.
work? Yeah.
She's still able to make it. Yes.
All right. So I'm grabbing onto her, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna discharge lightning into her.
All right. Point
Gonna
blank
do it.
range will give
Point
you a
blank.
bonus die.
Oh,
Woo!
nice. But it'll make up for my penalty, right?
Yeah.
So 1, 2, that's 12 base, total attack, and I think that's all I got. Oh, let me see. What did I roll? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Juicy.
10 successes?
Yeah, on 17 dice.
Oh, nice.
All right. Now, in the courtyard, we have the crumpled body, still faintly glowing with a yellow nimbus of Dougal McAllister. Her shoulders go loose. Her head is whipping around. The frill is collapsing and flaring just for a minute. And, the claws are still dug in as the lightning is discharging, and she can go this way and she can go that way, but she goes away from the eggs, her body crashing down, pulverizing McAllister, shattering the barracks.
That's fantastic. Like, we might be able to save him.
Okay, for a moment, Pants, fears, Stoic Facade vanishes and his eyes open like plates, and then he goes back to normal.
we might be
And
able to
she
save him.
quivers once and expires.
Holy shit!
That's fantastic.
Eloy, are you at plane 0 or do you have any
Zero.
negatives?
Flat
Yeah.
zero. No, it's like
I'm at -1. Of course, 2 are non-lethal.
So, to close out this exciting chapter in the lives of the Skyriders of
And
Venus,
deaths. Lives and deaths.
yes,
and death.
we are back at the Academy, assembled in the formal hall where graduations take place, and two officers bandaged and in their dress uniforms. This is Max Flynn and Tan Cantos are delivering a eulogy for their lost classmate. What is it that they have to say? Max.
Lieutenant McAllister died bravely in battle, having restored power to the crumbling outpost of the Lancers and selflessly engaging legendary beast, the dragon, in single combat to allow us, Lieutenant Cantos and myself, the opportunity to gain our Skyriders and engage the beast in a concerted attack. But had it not been for McAllister's timely intervention, the outpost surely would have fallen. A true and stalwart companion, perhaps a bit headstrong, but that's the defining trait which
He's headstrong and
led to this.
cocksure, or is it the other way around?
Yes. Which led to this selfless action. That's it. That's all I have.
Beautiful. Tan.
Dougal McAllister made sure the mission was a success. He prevented the outpost from crashing, and he engaged a fearsome foe without a sign of fear and without any regret. Even dying, he continued fighting to give us a chance to help vanquish the foe. He died as he lived. A Venusian Skyrider. Salutes.
Everyone stands and salutes, draws their lightning swords, and which blaze into the darkened hall, and we fade out on this exciting chapter of Skyriders of Venus.
And somewhere, though, the specter of McAllister's looking over the face of Flambert, who's just bitterly trying to hold his composure as people say nice things about this jerk.
And he keeps saying, Private McAllister.
Private McAllister.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Damn. You weren't kidding that the fauna was dangerous, man.
That is. I would love to get the stats on that, because that is the toughest ubiquity creature I've faced. That's up there. Yeah, that's up there as far as damage. I mean, I've faced ones with that much damage, that much resilience to damage. It's pretty good. That's about as tough as they get.
I mean, we hit it multiple
dice,
times.
It wouldn't have been anything like that. But taking the average, it's pretty horrifying.
Yeah.
We hit it multiple times with 9 damage, but assume what, 4, 6 resilience to damage, right? So it was probably like 3 hits getting out. Yeah, it's like.
Yeah, because I mean, the health doesn't get that big. It gets big, but not like it doesn't get in the 30s or something. It's that'd be kind of interesting to see what the actual
Gross.
actual stats on that. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's right up there, the Brontosaurus range or something. Looks like. But,
yeah, that's where we started with it. So, thinking about this setting, I want everything to be larger than life and um, all adverbs and adjectives all the time. And so, what would a dragon be like in such a setting? And what kind of setting would produce men like the Skyriders is where I started with the idea of Venus. But
that was cool. That might he he died quicker. Well, no, it didn't. I was able to put him together pretty fast. He may have died a little quicker than it took to make him, but not too quick. that was my first ubiquity death. But, but it was a good one. It was a good one.
It was
But
not
we all
a
skirted
wasted death.
that, right?
It was not a wasted death.
Yeah, no,
it's only because you two made your consciousness rolls, and I took Die Hard. That's the only reason we prevailed.
Yeah.
It's like because I'm at 0, Jose was at -1,
and we were
-7. So
and we were going all out. We were, we never. And the other thing is, he could only do 1 attack per round, which is, that's the. Otherwise, that would have been ugly.
Well, the psychic scream is just horrific. That's just the instant KO. But that was great, and I really liked the ability to just sit there and fix the ship against all odds. Literally remembering something I read in an adventure book when I was a kid. Like reading the story about how somebody turned the ship back on. Thinking, I think it said it was the red button in the lever. So, oh my God, you got to be kidding me!
The lever had to be up because in the book, Rex Zoltan.
Yeah, exactly.
Had to extend his last ounce of strength to push the lever up.
It's like, son of a gun. You realize all of a sudden, wow, this is actually like a Ben Bova book. Like he actually paid attention. He put down the right thing you're supposed to do. He didn't just make it up. Oh, how about that?
Beautiful.
That was
and I was imagining like a space pulp dragon. So it wasn't like a draconic head. I had like a sort of like a slug head with 4 eyes and tentacles on its,
Sure, yeah.
swooping and so that's a good.
I was picturing chameleon eyes, like 4 of them. And,
yeah, that was grand when they all turned to look at me.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
And it was a very nice, different setup because it's an open courtyard. We got a guy on the ground fighting. We're in Skyriders, basically like birds raking the dragon, right? So it's a very different. I really appreciate that. I've never had that situation before. It's the first time I.
Cool.
And it's very elegant. It's just our same stats. It's just that we can fly. So that's pretty cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
that's the weakness of point-based systems, right? Is you always wind up having to take this whole other set of stats to do a different skill set, and that's not something I really wanted for this, and so that the mental link came to mind, and then the Tron light cycle kind of idea came to mind, and then things just started to flow.
No, that's a great.
Together.
Yeah, I like that. I like that during the first Skyriders. I'm like, oh wow, that's cool. That instantly makes the setting like super awesome. To use your superlative. It's like wow, that's really cool. So
I could not believe it that Dougal McAllister charged it with his sword. That just blew my mind.
Yeah, I thought about it for a second. It was like, do I shoot the gun or do we go with the Skyriders? It's like, no, it's
that was the second. And really, my decision was fueled by like he had 1 extra die because he had proficiency in that sword, and he was just overconfident.
Yeah. Well, he did damage to it. I mean, he hurt it, and
and he just been brain blasted, or so he's not thinking straight, and he's just like, the hell with that. I was like, oh no, you don't. Not to a McAllister, you don't. Running there,
very away. It was charge of the Light Brigade, indeed.
Yeah.
In the truest sense.
That moment, like where it looks like, oh, they turned on their cycle, their ships. All right, fine, whatever.
That was awesome.
And it's fun too, because in my mind, it's a cavalry saber with lightning, right? So it's got basket hill.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, I imagine like that. It's like the saber for the right hand and the pistol in a reverse grip, like the reverse holster, right? So you can draw it in your hand. That's how you do it.
Exactly.
And
Those
these
flared
guys
pants.
are, yeah, these guys are all Flash. There's nothing practical about their clothes. There's nothing practical about
No armor. You may have
Yeah.
noticed somewhere
No.
during the combat, hey, I don't have any armor.
Oh yeah, they're all Flash. They're all So
So
And
you
I
did
think
well.
what brought it together this time is the Skywriters had a motif, right? It was birds. It was a hawk. It was the eagle and the sort of, that's a Quetzal bird that I put with a long tail.
yeah.
So I had a clear picture of what Jose's ship looks like. What it was really good.
Yeah, but Peacock is the most feared of all the Raptors.
Yeah.
I
Nice.
love the inclusion of the bird-like behaviors from the wings themselves, the cawing of the eagle and people are doing the talon gesture, and I like that when
Because the bird
that
motif
motivated.
tied it up. It's like now I know exactly what the writer is like,
Yeah.
right? So I can see the claws. I can see the
The only thing that was missing is, and I almost said I was waiting for Jose to just as he's grabbing, just bite it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought about it, but
That would be-
I did more damage with the lightning.
I know.
Thought about it.
But with the flurry capability that Dougal McAllister had, that's a totally practical approach, right? The claw bite routine,
Right.
Yeah.
kind of thing, would be pretty slick.
Yeah.
But then he died.
And he died. Well, he died bravely. But that was fantastic. I'm thinking for a second, he's not going to make it fall backwards, is he? Oh, good. It's going to fall on him. That's perfect.
Well,
Closed
next
casket,
time
of course.
Dougal's
Yeah.
next time Dougal's cousin, right? Duncan will probably do it. Close
Yes.
casket. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. No, he needs a cousin to go.
That's right. Danny McAllister.
Acid bite marks, and the whole thing fell on top of him.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic.
What do you think about the trade-off of doing of draining your own life force to be able to enhance the damage output? Is that worth it?
Great.
I liked it. It worked for me.
Yeah,
It's worth it.
Pretty.
Until the point where you killed yourself, right? So so like for me, it would have been worth it until going down to zero, right?
Right.
Because no penalties. But once you go below zero, then it's like no, can't do it anymore. So because it defeats the purpose unless you get 2 for 1, but it still.
We got 2 for 1, which is good.
We got two dice for a health level. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that would still make it worth it then, even if you're into the negatives.
Yeah. Well,
because then
mathematically you're kind of
Well, and because it's non-lethal, it'll limit your actions, but it doesn't knock you out. So
right.
So that's but I liked it because it's badass. It's like you make that choice. It's like
yeah.
And I can see it in my head, So, what color was your lightning, Aloy?
It must have been golden, I think. Golden lightning. Yeah.
Ivan?
Oh, it's purple. Yeah, that's kind of
Purple light.
crackling. Yeah.
Yeah. What was that?
blue.
Blue lightning.
Look, yeah, so we're all color coordinated. That helps even
Color
more.
coordinated.
You know?
All right. Well, I'll let you get back to your day. I have some hungry dogs I need to feed. But thanks a lot for giving this a try.
Oh, this was awesome. I was dying to play some Ubiquity for a while. So
Yeah, no, it's good stuff. And this is a particularly good setting. Like we should keep the setting on deck. Of course, you guys still have a character. I have to make another one.
Just do Duncan.
Duncan McAllister
next week. It's the cousin or the brother.
Hey, but Black Dougal dies, right?
Black Dougal dies. That's you. It was a very unauspicious omen, right? You picked ooh, Dougal. Oh no, he's gonna die. And
it's like naming our NPCs in the Star Wars game. That's right.
Yeah.
Condemn them to
Exactly.
death.
Death sentence.
Porkins. Okay, yeah. All right, that's good.
Oh, yeah, that'll fly out great. Yeah.
Yeah. All
Yeah,
right, kids.
basically you can
Right.
call him Sean Bean McAllister.
Oh God. All right.
Have a great
All
day,
Have a
right.
guys.
great
Take
day,
care,
guys.
guys.
Thanks a
Soon.
lot, Anthony.
Yeah.
Pleasure. Well, that's it. I hope you've enjoyed this return to the toxic mist enveloped Venus and the discussion which followed. That is our normal practice around here. That's how we actually play. We play and then we talk about it afterward. We crack open the skeleton of our memory of the session and we suck the marrow from it to understand what it was that we did. And if there were parts that are a little bitter, how can we not include those next time? And if there were parts that were, oh, so savory, how can we ensure to include them next time? At the beginning, there is a truncated inclusion of part of the character creation process. Making characters in Ubiquity is really quick, but only part of it is included in this audio. It took about 15 minutes for the three of us to, or three of them, to quickly make characters according to the guidelines that I had given them. So, that's it. This session improvised similarly to how I might run, well, any session, deviates from what we've been talking about in the Alien session. There isn't a requirement for horror, or there isn't the from the players kind of imported into play a sense that horror should be a part of things. Instead, there's a sense of this age of high adventure feeling which needs to be satisfied. So in that regard, the improvisation is the same. You're trying to hit a particular note. But how you get there will, of course, be different. Different goals means you're traveling in a different direction, different routes to achieve that goal. So what is described is different. The tone of voice in which things are described is different. The pace of description is different. The type of situations that arise when a role is resolved, right? What kind of precipice does a choice feel like or resemble? Is it something that the player should be helped to dread, such as a dark anticipation about what might be around the corner, what might be down the stairs? Or should it be more of leaping over the horns of a dilemma? We know that both choices are bad. We know that we have it in our hands to overcome them. Which one is the one that we are going to assail this time? So with different senses in play, with different pace in play, with different vocabulary choices in play, with a pitch at somewhere in between the player and the character, we wind up with this particular session of Skyriders and the Silent Outpost. Still a violent game. Still, it turns out, a lethal game. One filled with laughter. One filled with exclamations of appreciation or, taunting goads at the other players to see what they can do or to encourage them to greater heights. different from the play in horror, but no less fun, no less engaging on the levels of the senses, the levels of our anticipatory sense. Right? It's just what we are sensing is different, and what we are anticipating is different. So, anyway, as usual, if something in this episode has stirred you, please get a hold of me in the ways that are provided to do so with the podcast in the show notes. Until the next time, take care. You've been listening to the Casting Shadows podcast, and I hope you've enjoyed it. You can find content like this in printed form at our written blog at castingshadowsblog.com, or in video format on YouTube at youtube.com/runeslinger.